following is a revisited Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Hi, gang, and all my fellow YouTubers out there. Welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. This is Dual, the Big D team, and this time around, I'm about to bring to you the next to last installment of my revisited Saturday Morning TVLog on Filmation'S Archie series. Now, if you have not seen the first two, well, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen them, which I've revisited the Archie show in the first part, and then Archie's Funnies in, well, 2 hour-long series in the previous part. But of course, I'll go ahead and leave them for you just in case, because I'm going to go on to the next series I'm going to talk about, and it's a real fun show. Yep, because Archie and the gang is about to do a real cool thing. Work at a TV studio where they will be presenting to you some real fun-filled funnies. But also funnies that are actually with comic strip characters. Isn't that something? It certainly is. So, I hope you're ready for this. So, let's prepare and check out Archie's TV Funnies. Archie's TV Funnies. Now, this, of course, was the 1971 series to be continuing in the tradition of Filmation's Archie series. CBS premiered the show in the fall of 1971. Okay, now then. Now, this series starred the famous characters from a little town called Riverdale, created by Bob Montana. I almost said Montana, excuse me. This was the fourth overall incarnation of the Archie cartoon shows, which started with the Archie show, and then the Archie Cameo, and then the recent Archie's Files. Now, this was the first show in the popular series to move away from the series' earlier successful formula of comedic segments and musical segments performed by the actual Archie's musical group themselves. Each week, Archie's TV Funnies would feature Archie and his friends, Betty, Veronica, Jughead, and Reggie, running a local television station, which bore a close resemblance to the Filmation Studios, which would feature short anime adaptations of several classic newspaper comic strips. Now, some of those are still out there to this day, and some are not. A typical episode would start with one of the gang reporting on a story that was occurring in Riverdale that day. Then several of the animated strips would be shown to the viewing audience as the reporter continued to report the story. And the episode would then conclude with the entire gang appearing at the end of the story. Though the series only had 16 episodes produced and aired, they did air it in reruns for the next season. And after that, it was replaced with Everything's Archie, which was reruns from the previous series. Now then, there would be 8 particular comic strips that were featured in this series. They are Dick Tracy, the Captain and the Kids, which that's the Katzenjammer Kids to you, Emmy Lou, Nancy, the Dropouts, Moon Mullins, Smokey Stover, and Broomhilda. Now then, I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar with these comic strips. Dick Tracy, of course, which was originally created by Chester Gould, made its debut back in 1931, and well, it's still going to this day, as a matter of fact. Of course, this would be the second time we would see Dick Tracy in action, but this time we would have more of his support with his supporting characters, unlike what we saw in 1961's The Dick Tracy Show, produced by UPA, the studio behind Mr. Magoo, where he would call on someone to help out and stop the crooks. Now, we see numerous crooks from there, including Flat Top, BB Eyes, Mumbles, and others. Anyway, it's pretty cool and what have you. At least we get to see rest of some of the characters like what we saw from the actual comic strips and what have you, if you're familiar with them. Now, of course, the Captain and the Kids. Now, although it's actually the Katzenjammer Kids to you, of course, is a real zany set of comic strips. Now, of course, it focused on Hans and Fritz, twins who rebelled against authority, particularly in the form of their mother, Mama, their captain, who was a sailor who acted as a surrogate father, and their inspector, a long bearded school official. Anyway, this show is. That one is pretty funny and what have you. Now, actually, it did. Although this comic is, well, now defunct and what have you, but it still gets shown in some re-shown in newspapers to this day. I'm almost sure of it, but I could be wrong though. But anyway, it's pretty funny and what have you. The next one I'm going to be talking about is Emmy Lou, created by the late Marty Lynx. Now, of course, this is kind of hard to explain, what have you. It's just that it was about this, well, teenage gal who's, well, trying to live her own life and what have you, go through all the, well, I don't know and what have you, just kind of big things occurred. And this was long before we even got comic strips like Luann and what have you. But I think you get the point. Next we have Nancy, or Nancy and Sluggo as they mention it. Now, of course, this is a strip that's still going to this day. Now, of course, it featured the titular character of the mischievous titular character of Nancy, along with her friend Sluggo. Apparently, laid out, getting all sorts of situations and what have you, but it's pretty funny though. Next will be the Dropouts, created by the late Howard Post, who actually would also work for Harvey Comics and later at the Famous Studios. Now, the premise of the Dropouts was a variation on the Stranded on a Desert Island gag, featuring two main characters, Alf and Sandy. They were indeed castaways, but the island is hardly deserted and what have you. But it's pretty funny and what have you. It ran until it only lasted for some time. It's lasted from 68 to 81. Next up, Moon Mullins, a comic strip that started out in 1923 until 1991, which was created, well, done by Fred Willard and Ferd Johnson. Frank Willard and Ferd Johnson. Now, this focuses on the titular character Moon Mullins, well, who has big eyes, playpens. Well, originally in the comics he had a yellow derby, but he wore, I think it was a black or blue color one though. He was an amiable roughneck and what have you. Just gets in sorts of all sorts of comical situations, especially with his street urchin kid brother K.O., which is, of course, that's a pun on the K.O., and his name is spelled with a K-A-Y-O. And he sleeps in an open dresser drawer too. But anyway, these two really provide some hysterical moments and what have you in the series. Really something. Then we got the ultimate comic relief in Smokey Stover, which was introduced in 1935. But unfortunately, this was before his comic was ever retired the following year in 1972. Now, It's now Smokey Silver is a fireman, and he usually provides a lot of comic humor and what have you. And I gotta say, with a lot of his um his crew around, his wife Cookie, son Earl, his boss Chief Cash U Nut, and many others and what have you. Believe me, this segment provided a lot of jokes similar to what we had that had recently been done in the Thunderbolt Theater segment in Archie's Funhouse the previous year. Well, something like that. Anyway, and finally Broomhilda, who this was just a year after she made it in the comics scene, and she's still going strong to this day, of course. This, of course, depicts a man crazy 1,500-year-old witch and her motley crew of friends. And believe me, there's lots of them and what have you. We get to see Broomhilda along with a couple of our colleagues. We don't get to see all of them. Erwin Troll and Gaylord Buzzard. And believe me, those characters are absolutely zany and what have you. Now, of course, I have mentioned a few of these characters before because, well, after this series ended, Broomhilda and, let's see, Nancy, as well as Captain and the Kids and Emmy Lou, would later go on to be part of the Fabulous Funnies, another Filmation show, which I already talked about. Anyway, it's tough to find this show and what have you. There are some clips available, but not many, though. I do know there's a couple of Dick Tracy clips from the show and the intro, but an outro for the series. But, well, episodes have been coming and going and what have you, so I wish you the best of luck in finding it. Now, it has been released on physical media. It was released on video cassette or two, maybe. And I know it was on DVD, but I think through I don't know, from when the Filmation Library was formerly owned by Hallmark. Anyway, the voice acting cast is the same as before with the Archie gang. Dallas McKim once again voicing Archie, of course, plus doing Hot Dog's vocal effects, as well as Mr. Wereby, Pop Tate, and Mr. Lodge. Howard Morris once again voices Jughead Jones, Moose Mason, and Dilton Doily. John Irwin as Reggie Mantle, and Jane Webb as Bay, Veronica, Miss Grundy, and Big Ethel. Now, for other characters we hear, the other voices the cast do. Dallas McKinnon voices Sam Ketchum in the Dick Tracy series, as well as some other characters, including Flat Top Mumbles, Pruneface, President Pear Shape, as well as Smokey Stover. Let's see, Chief Cashew Nut, Gaylord Buzzer, Alf, and the Inspector. Howard Morris voiced Junior Tracy, BB Eyes, the Captain, Fritz, Sandy, Moon Mullins, let's see, Erwin Troll, and others. John Irwin voiced Dick Tracy in a way similar to what he would later do with He-Man years later, as well as Sluggo. And let's see, he also voiced Hans and also Fritz in a few episodes because Fritz wasn't always voiced by Howard Morris, as well as KO and others. Now, as for Jane Webb's voiced Tess Trueheart in Dick Tracy. And, well, let's see, Mama, Emmy Lou, Nancy, let's see, Broomhilda, and many others. So anyway, Archie's TV Funnies. I gotta say, this show is really funny and what have you. Like it says in the end of its theme, there's a lot of fun for everyone. And I really have to agree with it. I did see most of the episodes. I know they were shown on Odyssey, of course, and also on the Family Channel. The Odyssey is where I got to see some of it. Um, and then of course it got shown on the Retro TV Network when they formerly did have the rights to the Archie series under their former owner, Classic Media. But anyway, give me a moment. I'm gonna give you a look at the gang. See, here's Archie and the gang. Really something. But anyway, as for the rest, if you have read these comic strips and what have you, I'm sure you know what the characters look like. But if not, then look up the series intro and you'll see what they look like. I really don't want to try and go through all of them at the same time, so I want to get this video done right now. But anyway, Archie's TV Funnies, it's very good. I really do think it's a good show. Now, it may not be like the other Archie series or the series that came afterwards, but nevertheless, it still proved to be a fun-filled series. So, what did you think of this? Have you seen Archie's TV Funnies? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow, make the views grow. Excuse me. Tell all your friends about my channel. Give them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation and share my vids with your friends if you like. And stay tuned. Later today, I'll be giving you my off-the reaction for the new Disney Pixar film called Elio, and a spoiler-free review of it will be coming up later tonight. So if you like this, consider checking out the first two parts of the Archie series in case you might have missed it, or if you would like to see them again. I usually would do it first, but I'm not going to. Check out my revisiting of the Archie show in the upper left-hand corner, or last week's revisit of Archie's Funhouse in the upper right-hand corner, or if you'd like, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see the Saturday Morning TVLog on the fabulous Funnies from 1978. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TVLog. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Next weekend, I'll be tackling a revisiting, or should I say revisiting, US of Archie. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.